Hey, thanks for dropping by. My name is Sylvian. I am the founder and CEO of Rise Strategies. And today I want to introduce you to some agency owners who are on board with our virtual merger build to sell exit program that we are doing in partnership with Quadra Capital Private Equity in London. So we're going to have a conversation with three of the guys, London-based agencies 3CC and Extra Source, and R2G, who are based in the US. Now, the idea of the short meeting or short interview is for you to get an idea of what the other agencies are doing and why they're on board with this, their reasoning behind getting on board, and to see if this might be something that you could be interested in. And so once you've seen this meeting, on this page, you'll see the buttons to book a conversation with me. And I'll talk you through how this could work for your business, for your agency, values of selling with this strategy, the kind of companies we're looking for, the kind of companies who will be a success in the exit, and to see if this is something that could be for you. Now, you need to be planning on an exit. You need to actually be heading in that direction. So this is really for you if your agency is mature, it's profitable, it's moving along nicely, but it's time for you to go and do something else or nothing else, as is your choice. So we are going to meet the guys in a moment, and we're going to have a conversation with those. But as I said, down below there is a green button to book in a call with me here. No sales pitch, it's just a conversation to see if this might be something that you could be interested in and that could work for you. And on that note, we will hand over to the guys. So, gentlemen, a quick introduction on you and your agencies. We're going to be talking today to other agency owners about joining our virtual merger program. And what I think is very helpful is for them to hear from other agency owners. So, if I just introduce you both, and then tell us a little bit about your agency, and we can talk about the virtual merger first. So, Robert, you're from Extra Source. You run that agency based out of London. Tell us a bit about how you run your agency, what you guys do.
Yeah, sure. So Extra Source is a content creation agency, and we work primarily creating branded content and then managing that flow through their channels that they want to put it out. As part of Extra Source, we also have another agency called Smartphone Films, which works exclusively with user-generated content, again, mostly in a kind of business B2B space, creating content and again, managing the distribution across whatever channels they want to put it out.
Very good. David, what about you? You're our first US agency on board, so you have a different take. What do you guys do?
Yes, so yeah, we have an agency. We're New York based, and I run the agency called R2G Digital, and we are an e-commerce focused agency, and we are doing performance marketing for a lot of different brands. That includes Google ads, Facebook ads, Amazon ads, and all that you can imagine in the paid media landscape. We are in business for about 6 years, and we are essentially really helping scaling digital brands and making them into household names.
Good, cool, okay. So you're both on the virtual merger with Quadra Capital, with Rise Strategies, and obviously yourselves, and we're building this merger with a build to exit program. So what's interesting to people interested in coming on board is the difference between becoming a part of a virtual merger or becoming a merger with us, and also doing a standalone and eventually selling their business as a standalone agency. So you guys have obviously gone through that thought process. What was the decision made that made you decide on a virtual merger? I think Robert, for you.
Yeah, sure. So I've done quite a bit of work in the kind of M&A space, and in exploring how these things work and looking into roll-ups and possible ways of kind of growing your business with M&A, I came, I'm kind of aware of the common problems that come up with kind of group integration, scaling small service businesses, and businesses even up to a high turnover still considered small to a kind of trade buyer. So what really jumped out at me from the virtual merger was this the kind of hands-off approach of integrating to create scale, and the fact that it's a very collaborative process once you're into the group. It's not like you're going to be acquired, we're going to change everything around, and you're going to have those kind of issues that often pop up. It's a very kind of hands-off process, and that was the main thing that really jumped out to me.
Yeah, I think it's interesting is that, certainly the agencies I'm talking to, one of the most important things that crops up all the time is that, nothing really changes on day two. You're still the head of your agency. You're still making all the decisions. You're still in charge. And obviously, certainly in this virtual measure, you're not giving up equity in the business either. And that's really important because, I've been involved in the M&A world for many years too. And, we see the problems that can arise when you have that kind of thing. David, what about you? What was your reasoning?
Yeah, my reason is pretty simple. I believe in working with individuals that know better than I do in certain specific areas of business. And I know that I'm pretty good at what I'm doing in terms of running an agency. I'm really not good at selling that agency. That's a whole different art to master, right? So for me, I've been looking around for an exit for a while now, and I feel like it's just a great opportunity to come together with a like-minded group and kind of feed off of each other's successes and grow something bigger together. And let's not forget to mention that with you guys involved, we have the safety net of actually being able to grow to the point where we can sell our agencies for a higher multiple than if we were on our own. So that was very attractive to me. Yeah,
no, that's interesting. And as I said, I spend my day talking to agency owners around the world. And it is it's a smart move in the sense that if you take your eye off the ball, if you're thinking of an exit as a standalone agency, you take your eye off the ball, you're moving into the M&A world where you want to sell your agency. You're not running the agency, your eye is off the ball. And with the way that we're doing it, is that, that's our focus on building the agencies, building the network of agencies that are coming on board, and from Quadra side to build the wealth that comes out at the end of that. That makes a lot of sense. I find that's very appealing to a lot of agencies. What about obviously while you're thinking about this, what about the downsides that you've seen, if any that you've seen as you're getting on this? How are things that we as a network could improve? Robert?
Well, we haven't really seen any downside per se. I mean, mergers and acquisitions are extremely difficult and they're a very time-consuming thing to do. And I mean, having the group and the kind of knowledge base that's inside that group from yourself, from Quadra, and just having other people in a similar position is, just a way of making that process as smooth as it possibly can be. So I haven't really seen anything that's, a major downside. Certainly not if you compare it to what a traditional roll-up would look like or a traditional merger would look like. So no, it's set up to be straightforward, and I think that's its major benefit, but that's also kind of what it deals with. That's the most difficult thing about these kind of things.
Yeah, fair point. David?
Yeah, I think I agree with that, and I think there isn't a lot of risks involved here because when you join this group, you really are in the same mindset. You want to sell your company, right? So as long as your goals are the same, we are in the same ship, right? And we're going exactly the same direction. And if someone changes his mind or her mind, it's not a big deal. There are certain levers of safety that you guys give us that we can actually, if we don't feel like this is for us, we can get out. But obviously, the stronger the will, the stronger the outcome, right? So I believe that whoever pulls the trigger on this should actually be committed to selling their firm eventually when the offer comes in.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's really, really important. It's obviously one of the things, we're after people who've already got their mindset on an exit, because that means everybody's driving in the same direction. I think, I don't know if you guys agree with this, I think one of the other important things about why this works is that everybody is staying in their lane. Quadra know what they can do. They know exactly what they can do. For Rise Strategies, our role kind of comes at this stage where we're bringing the agencies in and creating the strategy around this exit. We're not involved in the day-to-day running of agencies, nor would you want us to be. You guys know how to do that bit. We know how to get the other bits done. All right, guys, that's really, really helpful. So if you had one piece of advice for our agency owners looking in on, checking out the video and seeing you guys, and what would that be?
Well, for me, I think if you, I guess a piece of advice that if you're looking to start the process of selling your agency and you're going to explore all the different ways, there probably isn't a setup that you'll find that's designed to be as kind of straightforward, as simple as this one, really. I mean, and go and explore, read about how other businesses have been exited and how other groups have been put together and merged, and you'll find very, very complicated and painful and drawn out processes, whereas this one's as straightforward as we all want it to be, and as far as I can see, as straightforward a process to sell your business as as is available right now, I think.
Cool, thank you. David, what about you?
I think my advice would be join this group if you're ready mentally, and if your company is at the point where you think that you could benefit from selling it in 2 years, however that might look like. If you have a healthy P&L, and if you have a healthy EBITDA, I believe that you can really benefit from this group. If you just started your agency and you're really not, maybe it's the infancy of development, maybe that's something to maybe consider for the future. But for me, my only advice would be to really think about it. If you're ready, come on board, because we are all very serious about this, as I said before. And I feel like the more we are, to a certain extent, the stronger we become as an offer. So that would be my advice to any newcomers, is to make sure that they have their minds made up and make sure that they're healthy in terms of cash inflow and outflow.
Yeah, that's important. Gentlemen, thank you. That was very good. That was very helpful. I appreciate it. I'm sure anyone having a nosy around but to see what we're up to will be very very helpful for us. Guys, thank you very much. We'll wrap it up.
No problem. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Lovely. That was good.